played originally in Season 2 and got voted off in Episode 4 after the first team swap of that season. Tell us why you decided to apply to play again in Season 3 this year.
I think that in the first season that I participated, I was playing it safe, and I didn't play to the extent of my capabilities. So I think I did a pretty good run. I applied for the second one, hoping that I would be able to redeem myself. But all good things have to come to an end. So,
if you had to compare your gameplay from Season 2 to your gameplay in Season 3, what did you change up, and do you feel that was why you made it a lot farther?
It was like night and day. I was more passive in the first season. This season, I was a little bit more aggressive. I wanted to be the one to set the decisions in play, and I pretty much did that throughout the second season here that I participated.
If you had to compare the castaways from Season 2 to the group of castaways you played with in Season 3, what made them a different group to compete with and against?
There really wasn't much of a difference. Right now, the group that I'm seeing that had formulated was the same group that voted me off in the first season I participated in. I wanted to make sure that I started to try my best to dismantle that group. If I were lucky enough and made the decision to give my immunity idol to Kelvin, I'm sure that I would still be in, and you would have two more of the group that voted me off out if I would have done that.
In Episode 1, the first activity was the island hopping, where you had 30 seconds to get trios standing into various hula hoops. How did you feel about your original trio that you formed with Brandon and Yearly?
To be honest, I really didn't even remember who I had formed a trio with. It kind of reminded me of boot camp when we got off the bus and had to get on the yellow steps. You didn't care where you were at as long as you were on a pair of yellow footprints, and that's what happened. I just wanted to make sure I was in a hula hoop, but I think I did push somebody out.
No alliances there either?
Well, I found out that Brandon was the one that put old on one of my votes early on, and I didn't appreciate that very much. Cool. So sorry, Brandon. I felt bad when I seen your exit interview, and I didn't mean to have you feel that way. I'm very sorry. Yearly, we really didn't talk very much, so it was just someone that was on the team.
The one that you had to stuff the bonobo monkey mascot. Tell us about that experience.
That event made me sweat. My thumbs were hurting. I was like, what is going on? And there was an immunity idol in there, but I was like, well, let me go ahead and pocket that right quick. But I wasn't gonna take all of the fluff out.
On the quad, unfortunately, Bonobo took a turn for the worst. Had to go to tribal council 3 times to vote out players.
Yeah.
How did that experience change the dynamics of your team?
Well, we had one person that wasn't able to get there, so that was a pretty easy vote there. The next one was having to do with, I believe it was knowledge. And I still feel bad because, I really did like him. I decided to go ahead and have him up there because it was going to be detriment to the team. It didn't matter if he helped win them or not. If you start fracturing the team, then you don't have a team. You have a whole bunch of small islands, and it wasn't going to work that way. So, it was one of the first ones that I instrumented in getting voted off.
In Episode 3, what do you enjoy most about being at the rec center for the competitions?
I really didn't like it. It was too hot in there. It was horrible. From the racquetball event, I was still confused. Then we had the kickball. I was like, the only thing you have to do, I could blame myself for it, but all I have to do is roll the ball. You have to kick it, and if you miss it, we're going back to, elementary school. That's not a problem on me. So, but other than that, it was a great opportunity.
By the time you got to Episode 4, back in the ballroom, did you have any alliances that you had created since Episode 1?
The alliances that I had started creating were going to be with Kelvin and Logan. Another one that I wanted to have an alliance with was with Jay.
In Episode 4, the first thing the castaways encountered was the first team swap of the season. You stayed with Bonobo. Instead, it now became an all-guys team, which included Silas, Kelvin, Logan, Blaine, Michael, and Evan. How did you feel about this brand new team?
I felt pretty good. However, I still knew that there were some elements of Gibbon that had stuck. I was going to be a catalyst. So one of the things I had to do was make sure that the Gibbon faction was taken apart piece by piece. So with that being said, that's when I started laying the groundwork for Mike to be voted out. Not personal, Mike, it's just we got to do it by numbers.
In episode 5, at the beginning, we saw several castaways jump in the pool before the very first challenge began, searching for ducks with goggles. What were your thoughts about those castaways taking that leap of faith to find the ducks?
Better than me. You see my hair? I ain't getting it wet. Nah. Yeah, me and the pool don't go together, so I was like, I'll just let them go and try to find those.
In episode 5, during the Flamingo Beach Ball Battleship, you chose to be in the float guarding the beach balls. How did you choose that role, and what were your thoughts about the teams joining forces at Ukari each round?
I didn't choose to be in the Flamingo. However, I know if I didn't participate in that, then it would look very bad for me, and I probably wouldn't make it past that if we would have lost. So I went ahead and did it.
You look like you enjoyed that bath there too.
Oh, yeah.
Those balls.
Oh yeah, I was having a good time just sitting there.
In episode 5, another team swap occurred, and this time you joined the new Gibbon, Michael, Logan, Kelvin, and Hope. What were your thoughts about that new group?
I was kind of excited because then I would have Hope on my team, and I would be able to start talking with her and seeing where her alliance was and what my alliances were, and see what we do to get them together.
In episode 6, at the sports field, the new Gibbon started out strong with their first few challenges. The first one, tire crawl relay. Tell us what you did to help your team.
To help the team, I did the first tire roll, and then when the second tire roll came, I got in the way, which kind of helped Roach from having to pick it up too many times. And then I decided to get out of the way because I didn't want to get disqualified.
In the volleyball challenge, Gibbon lost initially to Ukari, but then won against Lasula. How come you didn't play that one? I
decided to let the 3 more athletic people play on it, and it allowed me time to go look for things and find another idol. I was able to talk with other competitors and see where they were at.
In the third challenge, the Bamboo Squares, your team tied for last place and headed to Tribal Council. How did you all decide that Michael was going to be voted out?
The way that came about was we knew that sooner or later there was going to be a merge. We were going to go ahead and get Roach out first. We thought it'd be better to keep him along as an insurance policy. In case we happen to lose another one, then we could cut him down right there.
In episode 7, tell us about how your mascot monkey became an immunity idol at the very beginning, and why you were the one who was chosen for your team.
I knew we were carrying these monkeys around for some reason. At that point in time, when we had the week we were in the pool, I asked Mike to let me hold it. So I kept it for that week, and then I kept it for the following week as well. And nobody said anything about it, so I said if I keep it in my bag, then, if it needs to be used for anything or becomes an immunity idol, then I have it in my possession. And sure enough, once we got to the field and they let us know, I was like, yes.
In episode 7 at Redmond Stadium, tell us about your experience doing the field goal kicking, javelin tossing, and kendama ball race.
Well, to be honest with you, the field goal kicking, if I was a little bit younger, I would have been giving Evan a run for his money. But, father time is really fickle. And I didn't stretch at all. In fact, I almost threw my back out because I was discombobulated. It was a horrible experience. I was lucky I made 2 of them. The other one, the pajama, whatever that was, there was no way. I was at the starting line still. Somebody was with me too, but we couldn't get that ball on there to stay. So
in episode 7, how did you approach the voting process with 19 players all attending tribal council together for the first time? Were you surprised that it was Michael that was voted off again?
It didn't come as a surprise.
In episode 7, you were on the losing white team for the turf bucket ball derby by only 2 points. What was the team's strategy going into that challenge?
We tried to build our strategy that they were going to have one less attacker.
In episode 8, you were on the Ghostface Ghouls team for the Human Checkers challenge. What happened with communication in that group of 8 players? How did you feel about losing players left and right due to the penalty violations in the challenge?
We had Evan that kept just stepping off, and it was him and Jack did that a couple times, and it just put us behind. So I just went ahead and decided to move and got jumped because I was like, I'm not being part of this. This is crazy.
In episode 8, tell us about your strategy in the Steal the Wig challenge, and then the Clockwork 3-minute 33 seconds challenge.
All right, on the first one, it was with the wigs. I realized it was me, Hayden, and Evan. So I was like, okay, Hayden was in front of us and he wasn't looking, so I told Evan, I said, look, we'll tag up, we'll get him out first, and then we'll go. So he was on board with that. In order to confuse Hayden and not just have everyone go to him, I lunged forward to Evan. And so when Evan lunged back towards Hayden, I came back around, so it looked like Three Stooges running around in a circle. Evan got out first, and then that's when I almost tripped over the wall. First time people tripping over a wall that they're not climbing over, but I almost did it. I was able to snag his wig, and he had gotten mine also. That clock one with the dance moves.
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure that I had a movement so that way, that was roughly about 1 second. Mm-hmm. So that way I would be able to keep track. Unfortunately, after I got to 100, I started thinking, I was like, well, I can't get to 300 because that's going to be way over. So I was just like, then the time I was thinking about that, I was like, well, let me just stay about 30 seconds under and hopefully everybody will go over.
You shocked everyone when you pulled not 1 nor 2, but 3 immunity necklaces. Fortunately, other players had enough idol nullifiers. They played immediately afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Walk us through how you acquired all those idols and advantages.
Okay, the first one was the monkey square necklace, and that was from poor little monkey. We named him, I don't remember what his name was, the one I stuffed. I felt bad for that monkey. But that's where I found the first one. The second one was, I believe it was episode 2. We found it in the ballroom, and we made a video so that way we could activate it, but it was the puzzle piece. So that was the second one. And then the third one, of course, was the monkey. If I was a little bit more sneaky, I would have been able to acquire a fourth one, but I didn't think that I would need it. Unfortunately, because I was a catalyst in a lot of the departures, I should have acquired every one of them I could have.
Now that you are the 3rd member of this season's jury, what are you looking for in the winner? What will you be basing your decision on come finale night as you vote for someone to win?
What I'm going to be looking at is someone who is independent, not as reliant on trying to get people to gang up on one, such as myself. Someone who doesn't have to rely on numbers. So, that's who I'm going to be looking for.
What did you learn about yourself by participating in Survivor Bloomsburg Season 3?
One thing that I learned about myself doing it this year is if you want anything in life, you have to work at it. You're always going to need people in your corner, no matter who it is, because you can't do things on your own. And one of the things that I've been able to lean on throughout this whole process is my wife. Also, in this competition, sort of like one from last year, is I didn't want to do anything that reflected bad on anybody that would call me a friend.
Absolutely.
So even though I was a catalyst, I wasn't someone who was going to be vindictive. I stated the reasons why I was wanting to have people out, and it wasn't because I thought any one of the competitors were bad or anything like that. Yeah. It was strictly just who they were aligned with, how is it going to affect my way to being in the final 3.
Yeah. What do you feel makes the Survivor Bloomsburg experience so unique and fun to do or even watch as a spectator?
It makes me feel really good because even with all the competitors that we had, even with the ones that I didn't agree with, I've seen very good qualities in them. It gives me hope for the future that these young men and women are going to do something with their lives. So it makes me feel good just seeing that, Plus, I'm not as young as I used to be, so, I lived through them vicariously, just like seeing Mike swim, Logan swim. Yeah, I wasn't a very good swimmer, but...
If you could tell other students why they should consider applying for next year's Survivor Bloomsburg Season 4, What would you tell them?
I would tell them to go ahead and do it. You know, this has been awesome. Other people that I know of that aren't in Bloomsburg or in other states are starting to watch it now. So they like the competitions. They like the type of people that are in there. So I would say, you know, for the next group that are coming in, this is going to be something that's going to be an event that's going to help you think more of the type of people you want to be around with.
Any final thoughts?
You know, it's been great. I enjoyed it. This is my final year, so no chance of season 4.